Monday.com AI agents took over my work, and I absolutely love it. Chasing deadlines, writing status reports, updating stakeholders. Agents handle the daily grind now. I stay in the loop only when it matters. Create your own AI agent in minutes on Monday.com.
What is the art of invisible leverage? That's what we're going to focus on today as we talk to Shark Tank's Kevin Harrington. This is a popular interview I did a while back. An email says you want to hear it again, so here you go. As we talk about Kevin's book, Mentor to Millions. Let's do it.
Maximize your influence. Kurt Mortensen is the author of Persuasion IQ, Laws of Charisma, and the best-selling book, Maximum Influence.
All right, welcome back to Maximize Your Influence. Kurt Mortensen here, podcast 604. As we talk about persuasion, motivation, and influence, the things we should have learned in school. So let's get into the interview with Kevin Harrington. Let me tell you about Kevin. He was an original shark on Shark Tank, the hit TV show, and creator of the infomercial. And my favorite thing, he's behind, but wait, there's more. We've talked about that on the show before. He's also the pioneer of the as seen on TV industry. Kevin Harrington is no stranger to entrepreneurship and mentorship, having pushed past all excuses to repeatedly enjoy not 10x, not 20x, but 100x success. His work behind the scenes of business ventures has produced more than, get this, $5 billion in global sales, and has launched more than 500 products. He's made dozens of millionaires, and he's known as the Entrepreneur Answer Man. He's also authored a book that's coming out in about a month, Mentor to Millions, Secrets of Success in Business and Relationships and Beyond, which is also co-authored with Mark Tim. Kevin, it's such an honor to have you here. Welcome.
Wow, thank you. Great introduction. I appreciate that, and I'm ready to rumble. Let's go.
Let's talk. Let's give the listeners some great tools to be successful. But of course, as the listeners know, we have to start off with the question of the day, I guess we'll call it. So, Kevin, tell me, what is the worst vegetable on the planet and why?
Well, all right. It's got to be, I eat a lot of vegetables. I love broccoli and Brussels sprouts, but I do not like beets.
Oh.
Their taste, if somebody has beets on there, I can't even have it touching anything because I just don't like them.
That purple clump of staining vegetable that has no value at all. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. No value, no flavor. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's that dark red too that kind of scares you a little bit. It kind of reminds you of blood.
Oh, there you go. The blood beet. All right, we're going to go with beet today. That'll work for me because that's on my list too. So let's also start off with this question. I know you're a big fan. You've partnered up with Zig Ziglar. We've talked about Zig on the show. He started it all for me, and I know for you, for personal development. What is one of the biggest lesson you've learned from Zig Ziglar?
Zig was an amazing guy, and I love one of his mantras was, you can get everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. Before I ever heard that that was his philosophy, that's how I was running my life. I take pitches all the time. Obviously, on Shark Tank, I took a lot of pitches, but I would always want to help people. And of course, you got to be careful because you can't help everybody. But the bottom line is that this has been my way of living, is helping people. And hey, look, I'll put the time in and maybe it'll come back, maybe it won't, but just help people and you just never know what's going to happen. So it's been my philosophy.
I hope everyone caught that. If you're wondering what's taken so long to be successful, where wealth is eluding you, go serve more people, help them with your goals. Just as Kevin and Zig have said, it's going to come to you. But if you're just focusing on yourself, you're being selfish, then it's just not going to happen for you. Good philosophy. But let's talk about entrepreneurs right now. And I know you're helping a lot of entrepreneurs, built a lot of businesses, launched a lot of products. What do you see? I mean, we're in a strange world right now, strange time. Is it always the same mistake? But what do you think right now? And it could always be the same. What is the biggest mistake you see entrepreneurs are making?
So look, right now there's mistakes and problems, but there's opportunities. And so one of the things that I think, let's say you had a product prior to COVID. When COVID hit, and now people are at home on their computers more, watching TV more. Actually, in some cases, people were saying, oh, this is a bad time. Stop, slow down, just wait until this thing passes. But guess what? We started ramping up some of our tests on new products because there's more people on the internet. There's more people at home watching TV, but simultaneously the rates have dropped because there's fewer advertisers. So we've been focusing on customer acquisition in a big way. And we found some of our campaigns, we were saving 50, 60, 70% on the cost to acquire customers because of the opportunities that I just mentioned. More people at home, fewer advertisers. So I think some people are thinking, oh, I should be, sitting back and waiting for this to blow over. But at the end of the day, there's great opportunity right now for people that are in business.
Well said. A lot of people are just hunkering down and doing nothing, but great entrepreneurs are looking for opportunity. And wow, that's 60% off on a good ad. And you see a lot of entrepreneurs just going out there and adapting their business instead of hiding. That's great information to find opportunity. I mean, there's a lot of tragedy happening right now, but there's also a lot of opportunity. I like that. That's something that all entrepreneurs can focus on. Is there another mistake you can see entrepreneurs have made maybe in the past? It's just like the number one thing that entrepreneurs just aren't doing right that they need to switch up and do better.
Being a shark on Shark Tank I did 175 segments. I can tell you some amazing stories there, but people, oh, hey, I want $500,000 for 50% of my company, right? Well, as you dive deeper, I found out case after case after case after case, these folks are living in the old days. I mean, this is modern world today. Retail is tough. Right? I mean, Brooks Brothers just filed for bankruptcy, and Sears and Kmart and Sports Authority. And so people are still living in the past. And 5 years ago, I shifted my as seen on TV strategy over to as seen on the internet and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And we don't test products on TV. We test them on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube now. And so we're an internet-based testing platform. And at the end of the day, I'll go to someone's website on my mobile phone and find out it's not even mobilely optimized. It's like, what world are you living in? You need to be understanding that this world has shifted. And the direct to the consumer side of the business, I mean, all these companies that are just closing up shop because they never paid attention to direct to the consumer, just waiting for people to walk into their location. So I just made an investment recently into a company called restaurant.com. They're selling digital tickets and discounts to get in, to have meals at restaurants and takeaway and delivery and things like that. The restaurant business is having some tough times, but restaurant.com is going digital. So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, you need to be keeping up with the times. And too many entrepreneurs are living back. If you're living 6-7 years ago, that's like back in the Stone Age, okay? So you got to update your tactics.
All right, people, get that. Get with the times. Things are changing faster than ever. In fact, with this new COVID thing, who knows what the new normal is going to be, but got to make the changes there. So well said. Appreciate that. But let me ask you, I know you're big on being a mentor, having mentors, and that mentor is essential to success in life. And I look at my mentors in my life with Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn, Mark Victor Hansen, Robert Allen, Stephen Covey, and people that made a huge difference in my life. And we've harped on this, but I want to get your take on why mentorship is so critical to life, to success, to every aspect of life.
First of all, my very first mentor I got when I was 11 years old. My father was a bartender. And he decided, I'm one of 6 kids. He saved up enough money to open up Harrington's Irish Pub. 11 years old, I'm working 40-hour weeks for my dad, but not just hard labor. He'd bring me in, close out the books at the end of the day. He'd teach me about the different folks and the hiring processes, the delivery, the this, the that. I was understanding the business side. And then, of course, Zig Ziglar became a mentor. And I'll never forget one of the game changers for me. I was in the scene and TV business. I needed capital to expand the business. And I went to 5 banks. They said, you got a great business, but you're not bankable. There's no assets other than your inventory, and we're not going to loan against inventory. So I thought, wow, I'm not going to get any bank financing. So one day I'm hanging out at the Chamber of Commerce, and the head guy there says, you need a finance mentor. And I've got a guy that you should be talking to. He's sitting over there. He used to be the chairman of a big bank here in town, but he's now retired, but he's still looking for some things to do. So this guy, we got talking. He said, what are you trying to raise? 3 to 5 million, right? Yeah. I said, yes. He said, look, I'll give you the deal. I'm going to go get you that money after you told me about your business and where you are in sales and profits. And I know I can get you money. I may even get it from one of the banks that turned you down. I'm going to do all that for free. And after that's done, you're going to come to me and say, can't live without you. Let's do a deal. Everything happened. He got the $3 million from a bank that turned me down. He ended up becoming my COO, and we grew that company to $500 million in sales after we got that financing. So I love mentors. I've had dozens of them in my life. Richard Branson was a mentor to me when I went down and hung with him at Necker Island, et cetera, et cetera. So bottom line is mentorship, and having a mentor has been good. And now I've been mentoring now for many, many years as an entrepreneur, been 40 plus years as an entrepreneur. And I don't know if you know this, but I was one of the original co-founders of the Entrepreneurs Organization. And anybody that joins gets a team of mentors to help them. That's part of the deal. So I've been mentoring and providing mentors for many, many years, and I feel it's just very, very powerful. And that's how I came up with the name of my book, Mentor to Millions. And thanks for mentioning that.
You bet. Well, tell us about that. I know we got about a month away for that, this Mentor to Millions. What is kind of your core message? I know when you write a book, there's something you want to share with the world. It's in your heart. It's something you want everyone to read and take a look at. What would you consider the key message of Mentor to Millions?
So Mentor to Millions is a journey. I'm the mentor. Mark Tim is my mentee. And it's a journey we take together, exploring how I can help him, much like the book Tuesdays to Maury, if you've ever heard of that one. Mm-hmm. But we have a focus also of how to find mentors, what to look for in mentors, how to get a good one, and how to be the best student. If you're the mentee, how to be the best student of a mentor. And when we wrote the book, we said, this is a good book to read. It's a good book to have for yourself, a good book to give to your mentor if you have one, and a good book to give to your mentee if you have one. So, Mentor to Millions is mentors have changed my life. I've changed a lot of lives mentoring, and it's all about the process and the benefits and kind of the how-to of all of that.
What do you think it is? A lot of people with the mentor, like, well, who would mentor me? Who would talk to me? Why would they talk to me? How do you get people to overcome that, to really understand that mentors love to mentors? They want to help, but a lot of you just get stuck and, I'll figure it out on my own. And who's going to talk to me? Who's going to help me? They're too busy. They're too successful. They're too wealthy. How do you get people past that?
One of the things that I mentor people on is mindset. Zig Ziglar was great at having the right mindset. So if you have a mindset that this isn't going to work and that guy's not this or that, or you're too negative, right? So I say you got to open your mind. You got to believe that you can get the right mentor. And because if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. What the mind can conceive and you believe, you must be able to achieve, as Napoleon Hill said. And so once you have the positive mindset, the world is open to you. When I was 11 years old, I wasn't thinking someday I'm going to have Richard Branson as my mentor. But when I put my mind to do that, I set out to do it and I did it and I executed and made it happen. So you just have to believe, and then finding the right one is a process, but it involves finding somebody that has an understanding of the industry that you're in is important, I think. So that's a good start. There are lots of places that you can get mentors. And again, a lot of this we cover in the book. And I love telling that story in the book about the finance guy that turned my life around and helped me build a $500 million business because he became a mentor to me.
I love that. And I hope everyone heard that. There are mentors out there for you. There are people that want to help you out. And everyone's had mentors in their life, whether it be a school teacher or a parent or someone just kind of took them to the next level. And you've done that with other people's lives. And we're all about mindset on the show, the self-persuasion. We believe you can't persuade yourself. You can't persuade other people. And I'm glad you brought that up. Well, let's talk about that for a second. People on that are listening that feel that there's greatness in them. They want to get it out. And maybe they've tried and failed. They've been beat up, a few failures along the way, and they feel that maybe that greatness, that desire, that vision start to erode away. What would you suggest to that person that still has had a few roadblocks along the way, been beat up, had a few failures, and they've kind of given up on their dreams, but they still feel in their heart that they need to do it? What would be your recommendation for that person?
That's a really good question. I mean, I happened to, prior to COVID, last year I was on the road a couple hundred days. I go to a lot of events, networking events, mastermind events. I also do a lot of trade shows because I'm in the product business. So I do the houseware show, the hardware show, the fitness show, the beauty show, et cetera. Of course, CES show in Vegas, Consumer Electronics Show, that just got turned to virtual only in January. So lots of trade shows are different, but masterminds, people like James Malinchak and Joe Polish, the Genius Network, and what's his name, Sullivan. I'm trying to think of his first name, but really powerful people. The product launch sequencing is another mastermind from one of the greats that's out there. But these are places that you can go. Board of Advisors by Mike Calhoun. He's got 200 members. They get together quarterly. They just did a live event, but they're doing virtual events also. This is where you can learn how to kind of put your game face on and reposition yourself, networking, getting some great advice, meeting some of the right people. Anytime over the years, if I was ever kind of wanting to put my head in the sand, the best thing to do is pull it out of the sand if you were taking it in that direction and stick it straight up in the air and now go forward in a really positive fashion and start meeting and networking and becoming kind of up to speed on what's happening and opportunities and all of that. I mean, when COVID first hit, the beginning of March and middle of March, April, I was getting literally dozens and dozens and dozens of phone calls from people checking in. And I think they were looking to just get a little reinforcement and a couple of positive words that the world's not over. And so don't be afraid to do that kind of stuff, because sometimes you can be in a rut and you need somebody to help you turn that around and get out of that rut.
I like that. So I've ever heard that. Pull your head out, get out there and do it, meet some people. Be a little more optimistic. I think that's a good message for all of us right now. So let me ask you this. What is that? Maybe the one thing we missed, that one thing you want our listeners to know?
I'll say this. I started as a young entrepreneur and started building businesses. And I mentioned I got the finance guy that came in, right? And so I believe, and gets back to the book and we'll hit it before we finish, but if you're an entrepreneur, you need a dream team of experts to surround yourself with, because I was great in marketing and sales. I sold more than we could possibly handle on the back end in many cases in the different businesses that I was involved with. From product sales, we were getting tens of thousands of back orders because I was able to sell like crazy. But if you've got back orders, you better figure out how to fulfill them quickly, or you can get hurt bad. So I have surrounded myself with a dream team of experts. I have 2 full-time lawyers. I have personal advisors for investments. I have finance and dream team members and operations dream team, digital gurus in the digital marketing world. You can't do it alone. This is what really the book Mentor to Millions is all about. By the way, if anybody, Kurt, would like to visit the page, kevinmentor.com is one way that they can track down early information about the book. And by the way, if you pre-order a copy now, I'm giving a 30-day mentoring program for free as part of just buying a $20 book, okay? So we've got amazing content created for 30 days of free mentoring for anybody that buys an advanced copy for $20. So I'm really pushing to get this book out there, and I appreciate you having me on to be able to speak to your tribe, because I know you got a really loyal following.
Well said, Kevin. Appreciate the advice. Appreciate you being here. I know you are busy. This is great advice. Listeners of Maximize Your Influence, I'm hoping you took great note. Hey, you want to be successful? Kevin's successful. You do what successful people do. It's an open book test. You want to be successful, you want to be a millionaire, you start thinking, acting, and doing what other millionaires do. Hey, if you're wondering what's taking so long, these are the things you need to start working on. So go to kevinmentor.com, pick up the book, Mentors to Millions, Secrets of Success in Business Relationships. You can go to the archives at maximizeyourinfluence.com. Also take your free Persuasion IQ assessment. Again, Kevin, thanks for being here. Everybody, take something you learned today, apply it, use it, master it, become a better person, get better mentors, become more influential, and go out and persuade with power.